You guys, we have a dump truck.
This changes everything. I've got the hoist into what I believe is the correct spot now. I spent a long time measuring to make sure that it is perfectly parallel within the frame rails of the truck. That way when it lifts, it'll lift straight and the bed will stay square to the truck frame. I'm going to do some nice healthy tack welds on the bottom there. And once we have everything in place and we know it's lifting correctly, then I'll fully weld it. Just in case I have to cut the welds, I don't want to have to put really big welds on there. Doing all this by myself without Courtney's help has been extra difficult, but her eyes are going to heal fastest if she can just lay in a dark room with her eyes closed. So that's what she's doing to try to get back out here to help me. Kind of feels like I'm missing 2 arms, a set of eyes, and a brain. Everything's kind of at half speed now. Courtney came out for a minute to film for me. Her eyes are closed, so I'm having to tell her where to point the camera. So now I need to lift the bed up and pull these 2x4 blocks out and add a 4x4 over here.
I think Riley wants me to go back inside so we can keep being reckless because I'm kind of the safety police.
Well, with how much lifting and yanking and pulling on this project, I don't know, kind of a good thing I'm left alone, but also maybe a bad thing.
Rule number 1 is safety first, fun second.
How can safety be first and third?
Oh my gosh. Okay, he's pushing it. Oh, it's working. Oh. Things were going just too smoothly. I totally forgot I needed to cut a cross member while the bed was off. So I have the bed jacked up, and basically what I need to do is cut this one so that when it comes down it'll clear the hoist. All right, successfully got that cross member notched out, and I also got the bottom of that big cross member cleaned up to weld to. The wire wheel would not even touch the military paint on this thing, and I completely forgot I even had this until now. It's the first time I actually used it. It's amazing. So if you ever get tough paint to get off, go get yourself a 3M Scotch-Brite clean and strip wheel. Awesome. Well, all that measuring paid off. The hoist is exactly where we wanted it. I think this is going to work out super well. We've got the bed back down in place. As you can see, we slid it back about 4 inches, and that leaves us a spot back here for the hinges to go. The next step is to get the hinges welded in. Now it's going to be really important that the pivot point of the hinges be exactly lined up so that when the hoist lifts and the bed dumps, the hinges don't bind. So I'm going to try to get them as square to the frame rail as I possibly can. I've already got all the paint and stuff stripped off the frame rail in preparation for welding, so let's get started. I call them tack welds. They're definitely more than a tack weld, but we don't want this thing coming apart when we test it. Once we've tested it, then we'll come back and fully weld everything. I'm going to lift up the hoist now with the bottle jack to get it pushed up against the bottom of the bed and tack it in. Something's not quite square, and this pivot that the hoist lifts on isn't square to the cross member. So even though we got the hoist set in the frame straight, something about the way the hoist was made isn't perfectly square, and I know it's more important that this pivot be parallel to the hinges we welded on the back than it is that the hoist be parallel to the frame. So I'm going to cut these tacks on this side, and I'm going to rotate this whole thing just a little bit this way. And this is exactly why we don't fully weld this kind of stuff in.
It's time to mount the hydraulics now. Basically, I need to make sure it's close enough to the hoist that the hoses reach, and also close enough to the batteries that I can hook it up to power. So we're gonna go ahead and install our hydraulic pump to the LMTV's batteries. Now remember, these batteries are both 12 and 24 volt configurations, so we have to make sure that we hook it up to the 12 volt part. Cables included with the kit would be absolutely perfect if we were building a dump trailer, but we can't use the battery lug style cables because of the way our batteries are configured. So I went ahead and picked up some 36-inch long cables, and since I'm going longer, I also went up a size. These are 1 gauge, and these are gonna fit perfectly just like that. Now it's time to install the hydraulic hoses. It's important to note this is called a load control valve, and what this does is control the speed at which the bed can come down. It's a power down unit, but you can imagine if the bed is heavy and you're powering down, this thing could come screaming down. So what this does is restrict the hydraulic flow so that it can't come down too fast. So I need to make sure I install this on the correct spot so that I'm restricting the down and not the up.
Because it is time to tilt the dump bed for the first time.
Moment of truth.
Woo!
I'm excited. I'm not nervous. I don't get nervous.
Don't worry, I'm nervous for the both of us.
Yeah, I hope I hooked everything up right, but I'm 90% sure. Pretty sure all I have to do is hit this button and it's gonna go up.
Okay, let's see it. It moved! It's going!
I don't see any major leaks. That is awesome!
You guys, we have a dump truck!
This changes everything.
Also, it's just freaking cool. I never would have thought I was gonna own a dump truck in my life, and then an army dump
A
truck?
4-wheel drive dump truck on 46-inch tires.
This is freaking cool.
I'm gonna make sure it goes down. This is awesome. That's it. That's full dump. It should be about 50 degrees, but we'll double check it right now. $54 degrees. I think I was only expecting 50. We got a lot of dump. The next step is to get the safety kickstand set up, and once that's in, then we can concentrate on getting the rest of this fully welded and finished up. We're almost done here.
I like to joke that safety is third, but it's not.
I'm gonna stick this 4x4 in case the hydraulic line fails or something. I don't want the bed falling on me. This is one of those projects where you know exactly what to expect, but it still far exceeds your expectations. This was super awesome. Literally every kid's dream. We own a dump truck. Ideally, the hinges would have been mounted further apart for less leverage, and Primary Mover sent us 4 hinges, suggesting that we add a second set further out, but I couldn't come up with a good way to securely mount those hinges where I was confident that they were actually going to help. So we've decided to just go ahead and keep 2 hinges. They're really well attached, and we're going to keep an eye on them. If we have to upgrade to larger hinges later, we will. We chose Primary Mover because they seem to have a great kit at a good value.
We're also really impressed with their customer service. They answered the phone, they listened to our application, and they helped us find a kit that would be a good fit for us.
We used a 616-6 kit from Primary Mover, and it was awesome. The kit came with everything we needed to get this thing running. Of course, we had to modify a few things because of this special application, but overall, it was an awesome kit, and it worked really well.
So why the heck did we turn our army truck into a dump truck?
We have a lot of dirt to move. We needed a way to shuttle materials around. We need to haul gravel. We need to dump gravel.
And we started by shopping for dump trailers, and they are expensive. And you need something to tow them with.
This solves all of those problems in one. Plus, it's super cool. Plus, it's got big tires, and it's 4-wheel drive.
So we are now loading up the dump truck, and we are driving it 1,200 miles north to Idaho to our property so that we can put it to work.
It's gonna be a long, hot drive.
Wish
Let's
us
get
luck.
started.
Wait, is there anything in the bed that's gonna go? Oh.